Hello.
Denise is still awake.
Hey.
Would you like Should I
Stop it!
No, Mike, it's okay. I mean, you brought it up. Whatever, it's fine. I'm completely fine with talking about shit and diarrhea. Whatever. I just don't like farts, but it's fine. Anyway.
Shirts.
Okay, so I take this laxative tea, which is supposed to make you go poopy. So I take it I take it one night, hoping that in the morning I'm gonna have some kind of hardcore poop attack, which is fine because I'm constipated. I'm I need to shit, but I don't. So I go to my AM class, and it's a public speaking class. And I'm in class and I'm sitting there and I'm like, no, you're not. And then all of a sudden it hits me and I'm like, oh my god. Oh my god, I have to poop. It's happening. It's happening. And so I get up from my seat. Oh, I get up from my seat and I go up to the teacher and I'm like, I have to leave. I have to leave right now. And she's like, okay. So I leave my class, I go to my car. It's a college because I didn't want to go to a public bathroom, so I leave my car. I leave the classroom, I go to my car, I'm driving, trying to get to my house, and then all of a sudden I hear the I get pulled over by a fucking cop. Because I'm going 35 in a school zone, which you should be going 15 because it's super early. So the cop pulls me over.
You're an asshole. You're an asshole.
No, she is.
So the cop pulls me over, and I'm sitting there in my car oh my gosh.
You're in the middle of a poop attack.
I'm okay, it's fine, breathe. And I'm oh, I'm getting so frustrated and having these hot flashes. And so I get out of my car. I go up to the police cop, the cop's
the
car.
Police cop.
And I knock on his window and I'm like, excuse me, police officer. I'm about to have a diarrhea attack. I have to go right now. I need to go. And the cop is like, whoa, miss. And he starts cracking up, laughing. And I'm sitting there almost in tears because one, I have to go so bad, and two, he's just not being sympathetic whatsoever. So I'm and he's like, miss, go back to your car. And I'm like, fine. And then I'm sitting in my car oh my god. I'm deep breath. And so then he comes up to my car and he's like, all right, miss. He's like, I'm gonna mail you the ticket. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, thank you. So then I drive so fast, home, and just actually I went to work where nobody was there yet. It was early morning. It was the salon in Exton, so I just took a shit there. It was fine. It was all fine and dandy. I didn't have to drive to Bumblefuck and Coatesville. But yeah, so that was my horrific it was to the point where if the cop did not let me go, I was gonna be I'm gonna go right here. I have to go that bad, and I wouldn't even care.
Thank you, appreciate it.
So anyway, that was the poop story that I shared earlier at Apps, and everybody enjoyed it greatly. I think it's a great story.
This is the greatest story I've ever heard.
I'm sure he shares it a lot when he talks to his buddy,
The cop. The police cop.
Who I went up to the window and was like, excuse me, sir, I'm about to have a diarrhea attack.
Douchebag for sending you.
She got a fucking.
Whatever. I was speeding a school zone.
Signing off.
I deserve it.